welcome to ManeGait. We're excited to have you join us today via the film. My name is Kathy Martin, and I'm the volunteer coordinator at ManeGait. And this is Sarah Dobbins. She's the program volunteer coordinator. And this is Annie joining us this morning. She's one of our new precious horses. Today we're going to teach you how to groom and tack the ManeGait way. So what we're going to start with is 3 horses of different sizes, shapes and colors, and temperaments, just to give you a little taste of the different personalities that you might encounter at ManeGait.
So now we're going to go into the ManeGait tack room. We're going to show you an overview of all of our tack, our saddles and our bridles, and our grooming equipment. So I'm a ManeGait instructor, and you will always have an instructor here to help you. So if you don't remember everything the first time around, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. And so Kathy's going to come in with me, and we're going to go take a look in our tack room. So whenever you come to ManeGait and you're getting ready for your class, we have these tacking sheets right here. And you just look at that, and it lists everything that you're going to need for your horse, and it will also tell you which horse you will be working with. We have all of our stirrup leathers, reins, everything is separated from the saddles and bridles because all of our riders use different equipment. So you'll see on here that it will tell you which reins to use, which stirrups to use, which kind of girth, which saddle, everything is listed there for you. All of our horses have their own bridles and their own side pulls. A side pull is a bridle that does not have a bit. So it's essentially the same piece of equipment, it just doesn't have the metal part that goes in their mouth. Over here we have all of our saddles. The horses share the saddles. All of our horses are different sizes and shapes, as are our riders. So we have different saddles that interchange for the different horses. So you'll find whichever saddle you need, the rest of your equipment, and then we're going to take it out to the cross ties, which we'll show you in just a moment. All right, Kathy, so let's pull the tack for Wrangler.
Okay.
And Wrangler is going to use saddle M10, and he's going to need a small pad for that saddle.
Small pads. Yes. Pads are over here.
Pads are over there.
He looks good in blue.
He does look good in blue.
So we're going to build the saddle here.
Right here, yes, we are.
Okay,
you can find M10 for us.
And M10, and thankfully this doesn't weigh a lot.
Because it's pretty high up.
It's pretty high up for a short person.
Alright, so this is an English saddle that we're using here for Wrangler, and he's going to need his side pull, Kathy, which should be hanging over there on the hook with his name on it. Alright, and we're going to need some reins for Wrangler. So here's some rainbow reins.
Rainbow reins.
Rainbow reins. And stirrups. So here's our stirrup leathers.
And what's the red mean on that?
That denotes the length. So the red are the longest ones, and then the blue gets shorter, the yellow is shorter, and the white is for teeny tiny people.
Perfect.
So, and we're going to need some stirrup irons.
And those are red as well?
Those are red as well. So, these are safety stirrups. All of our stirrups here are safety stirrups. They're called peacock stirrups, and their safety mechanism is that this will pop off if the rider falls and they can't get caught and dragged by the horse. When you put the stirrup on the saddle, it's important that your safety feature is facing to the front, so that when the rider puts their foot in the stirrup, it's on the outside of their foot. And this is something that you'll get wrong every time you do it for the first couple of weeks, and then finally it'll click in your head how to do it, and you'll get it right. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do when we're putting our stirrup onto the saddle is make sure we have our stirrup leather facing the correct way. So you want the buckle facing the front of the stirrup. Then you're going to take the leather, slide it through, you're going to fasten it all the way through the buckle, and you're going to pull it down to the bottom. So now you've got your leather, you've got your safety feature facing the front. You're going to make a little loop with the leather and slide it onto the saddle. Some of these are pretty stiff and some of them are not so bad, so you'll get to figure out how to do that. You want to make sure the buckle's all the way up to the very top so it's not going to catch on your rider's leg. You're going to slide this through the keeper at the back, run your irons up all the way to the top of the leather, and then thread the leather through so it doesn't slide back down. And we're doing that so that when we put the saddle on the horse, it's not going to bang on their side as we go over their back. We're now going to introduce you to 3 of our ManeGait horses. Our horses, like people, all have different personalities, and they all come from different backgrounds.
So safety is of the utmost importance at ManeGait. We want to keep our horses safe, our volunteers safe, our riders safe. And this is what we call a quick release. So the way to utilize this is to pull it through. I'm going to pull it down and it pops right in. And then when you want to release it, it's just a very quick and comes right off.
So this is Wrangler. He's one of our younger horses. He's only 7. And we're going to talk a little bit about safety around the horses and what they like and what they don't like. So horses, you can see their eyes are on the side of their head. If you're standing right in front of the horse, he can't see you and he doesn't know where you are, and you're kind of in his personal space. So you want to always be off to the side so they know where you are. And keep your hands on the horse if you're behind them in a position that they can't see you, so that they know where you are and won't step on you by accident. We like everybody to go around the front of our horses, so if you're changing sides for grooming, you're going to come around the front and go back under the cross ties on the other side. We like our volunteers to do that because it teaches our riders horse safety. If for some reason you need to go around the back of the horse, if you're switching sides and you're in the back of the horse, you want to keep your hand on the horse's rump all the time as you walk around, and that way he knows where I am. He's not going to accidentally step back and I'm not going to startle him from behind. So it's very important that before you ride a horse, they make sure that their hooves are nice and clean, because I mean, if you think about walking around with a rock in your shoe, it doesn't feel very nice. So we want to make sure that our horses' hooves are always clean. You're going to put your hand on the horse's shoulder, run it down their leg, and ask them to lift. And you're not going to lift it too high where it's uncomfortable for them. You just want to have a nice relaxed hold on their hoof. You can see Wrangler does not have shoes, but he does have some dirt in there. So we're going to take the hoof pick and just clean out where the dirt is in his hoof. Horses' hooves are not sensitive. It's like a big toenail. You can't really feel anything around that part. The only part that can be sensitive is this part right here, which is the frog of the hoof. So you don't want to get too invasive in here. Just make sure that it's clear of dirt on the channels that are on either side of it. When you're finished cleaning the hoof, you're going to very gently let him set it down. So don't just drop it for him. Let him set it down.
Janine Govern's here today with us. This will be her very first time to clean a hoof. So Sarah's going to instruct her and show her all the ropes, and we appreciate you helping us out, Janine.
All right, Janine. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
You know Pino?
Yes, I do.
All right, so we're going to come around and clean his hoof right over here. So you just saw me doing Wrangler's hoof.
Yes.
So you're going to put your right hand on his shoulder, run it gently down his leg. Got it?
Yep.
All right. Get all that yucky shavings out of there. Okay.
Very good.
That's pretty good.
And this is the frog.
That's the frog, yes. There you go. It's not too muddy.
Not too bad.
And whenever you feel like it's clean, when you set it down, do it gently and make sure that your toe is not underneath it, because he's heavy. Nice job. All right, so now we're going to clean the back hoof. So again, you're going to make sure that your hand is on the horse so he knows where you are. You're going to ask him to lift it. And you're going to let him relax his hoof and put his leg in the position that he wants to, so that you're not making it uncomfortable for him. Pretty clean hoof there, Pino. All right, so you see he does not have shoes on the back. He has shoes only on the front. You're going to set his hoof down very gently. There you go. And always make sure that your foot is not underneath where he's going to put his foot down. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, Janine, is use this curry comb to get all the dirt up to the surface of Hope's coat. Okay. So if you want to come back here with me, watch out for the rope. And you're going to use the curry comb in a circular motion, like this. Does it feel like a massage, Hope? When you get up to the bony part here where her spine is and her withers, you're not going to push too terribly hard. So here, you want to give it a go. Hope is a quarter horse. She's pretty young. She's only 6, I think she's 6. And she was purchased for us by the Dallas Stars. So we're very excited to have her here. And you want to pay lots of attention to the area where the saddle's going to be and where the girth's going to be to make sure that she doesn't have any debris in the way. Okay, so we have 2 different kinds of brushes we're going to use now that we've got all the dirt to the surface with the curry comb. First, we're going to use this hard brush, and we're going to use it to flick this dirt off. So if you want to do that, Janine. Hope says, "What are you doing?" Look at her face. And you want to make sure that you get this part right here all nice and clean so that where the girth goes is not got stuff. Alright, nice job. Alright, so then we're going to use a soft brush. You're just going to use this to smooth out her hair. Oh, you want to do that? So while Janine's doing that, we'll talk a little bit about their mane and tail. We do have mane and tail brushes. Hope has really, really long mane, so we keep hers braided so it doesn't get too tangled up. We do not want to be undoing her braids all the time. So if you have a horse out here that's got braided mane, then you don't need to be brushing that. You can just leave it the way it is. You can go ahead and brush her forelock and her tail. All right. Okay, so we're going to brush Pinot's tail. He has a nice short tail. It's not too long. You're going to start at the bottom and you're going to stand to one side of the horse. You don't want to be standing directly behind him because he can't see you and he doesn't know that you're there. And we want to make sure that there's no debris in the tail. Nothing spiky that if they were to flick a fly off might hurt them and cause them to startle in the class. So you don't have to have the tail perfectly knot free or tangle free. You're just really making sure that there's nothing in there that doesn't need to be in there. The main purpose of grooming the horse is to make sure that there's no dirt or anything else that could irritate them where the saddle goes. It's an enjoyable experience for you and the horse. So now we have a clean horse, so we're going to go ahead and put our saddle on. So Janine, let's get the saddle pad first, please. Alright, we're going to put this up just on his wither. And now we'll get the saddle. So we want the Velcro pieces at the front and these little elastic billet holders facing forward. Alright, so we're going to put the saddle gently on his back, very soft, so it doesn't startle him. We want the saddle to be just behind the wither so that his shoulder has plenty of clearance. We're going to take the saddle pad and pull it up a little bit so that it's not pulling down on him. And then we're going to attach our Velcro straps. So Janine, you want to stay right there. I'm going to go put the girth on the other side. So we're always going to start off with the girth on this side of the saddle so that it can be tightened when needed on the other side. We're going to make sure that our girth goes up between the billet holder so that we don't lose our saddle pad. We're just going to put it on a low hold to see how tight it's going to be on the other side. Alright Janine, here it comes. And you can watch the horse for his behavior when he's having the girth on. Some of them react to it a lot more than others. And Janine, just have it nice and loose over there.
Yeah, it's on one.
It's on one? Okay. So when you're grooming and tacking the horse in the cross ties, you're just going to have the girth on loose enough to keep the saddle in position. The instructors will check the girth tightness and make it as tight as they want it for mounting. So we have our saddle on the horse and in the right position, and we're going to put the side pull on next. The side pull, you probably remember, is the bridle that does not have a bit in it. The horse leader will be responsible for all of the tacking and grooming of the horse. Sidewalkers are very, very welcome to assist. Once we get to the part where we're putting on the side pull, that's going to be the responsibility just of the horse leader. So we have our reins here. We've got our rainbow reins. We need to attach them to the side pull before we put it on the horse. They're very simple. They just have little clips. They're very easy to attach. There's a ring right here. You're going to attach it to that ring. These swivel, so you don't need to worry about whether or not the reins are straight. Alright, so the most important thing when we're putting on the side pull or the bridle is that we don't lose our horse. So we're going to put the bridle over your arm, take a hold of his halter and unsnap both of the cross ties, but you still got a hold of your horse. Then you're going to take the reins, slide them over his neck so that you have hold of something if he should decide to leave. Wrangler we call Houdini. He is able to take off his own halter, and he does it quite often, and he goes off for a little walk around the property without anybody attached. So we're going to take his halter off, but we're going to put it around his neck again so we've got something to hold on to. Alright? You're going to put your arm around the front of his nose and just pull this very gently up over his nose. There's no bit to try and get in his mouth. And tuck his ears in and fix his hair. Alright, so now you have the side pull on the horse, and there's two places that you're going to need to fasten a buckle. There's one that comes under here just like on a regular bridle, a throat latch. And you're going to fasten that. And you want to have about a hand's width right there so that it's not too tight around his throat. Then there's another buckle under here. This one you're going to do pretty snug because the purpose of this strap is to stop the buckle from creeping up too close to his eyes. And then you're going to thread the end through the little ring right here so it's not flopping around on his neck. So, let me see if it's straight. Pretty good. And now you can take the halter off because you have plenty to hold on to. So before you bring him out of the cross ties, we're going to attach a lead rope. We have special lead ropes that we use in our classes. They are color coded so that the instructor can describe where he or she wants you to hold onto the horse. There's a little ring right under here. So he's going to clip the lead rope on, and now you have hold of your horse. You're not going to wrap the lead rope around your hand like so. You're going to have it just laying across your palm so that if he does get away from you, he's not going to hurt your fingers. And then when the instructor says so, you're going to bring him out of the cross ties and they will do a tack check. Alright, so now we're going to show you how to put a Western saddle on. A little bit different than the English saddle. The pad is much bigger. And Kathy, if you would mind helping. And we want this big gap here to be right over the top of her wither. So it's going to protect her from the weight of the saddle. Western saddles are a lot heavier than English saddles, so Kathy's going to help me put this on so we don't slam it onto her back and make it uncomfortable for her. Oops. Go up. I'm going to lay it as gently as possible on her back. We see we've got the stirrups hooked up over here so they didn't knock into her as it came over. Here's the switch. I'm going to scoot it just a little bit backwards. Alright, so Western saddle is different. It's bigger. It has a different mechanism that you use to attach it. So if I can have the girth under there, Kathy. Thank you. This is a Western cinch. You see it's got one big buckle as opposed to the little buckles. And you're going to thread the girth through here. Whoops, got it twisted. And you're going to go around a couple of times before you actually buckle it. So you're going to come back over the top and wrap it around another time. And as with the English saddle, you're not going to make it too terribly tight. That's going to be up to the instructor. They're going to come and decide how tight they want it before they mount their riders. So you're just making it tight enough that if she moves around, the saddle's not going to slide. And then you loop it back through here for safety. Once you've got her all saddled up, you can take the stirrups down. Oops. She says. There we go. All right. And these are a different kind of safety stirrup. Again, you want the safety feature facing the front so that when the rider mounts, it's going to be on the outside of their leg.
What is your most favorite thing about riding at ManeGait?
Riding with other kids and with other friends.
Other friends. And what's your favorite horse?
My favorite horse is Seymour.
We hope you enjoyed learning to groom and tack the ManeGait way. We are so grateful to our volunteers for enabling our riders to join in, mount up, ride tall.